know a lot of sisters, a lot of sisters, mashallah, who even though they're not that pretty, but you can just really, mashallah, just admire their character, and you just feel so attracted to these sisters. Unfortunately, all these sisters are married. I'm just telling you. I'm just saying. No. Not. This is not a diss to anyone. This is not a diss. I'm just saying as it is. I'm just saying. This is quite subjective, as I said. Why is everyone laughing? Astaghfirullah. You should not laugh at the teacher. Yeah, mature up. Exactly, Hadi. Yeah. All right. I'm just saying. Okay, right. So does that make sense for tomorrow? Yes? Alhamdulillah. Right, okay. Okay, so now we can go to the actual tafsir of the class. Right. Hadi, can you please read the verse out loud? Oh, right. Can you read the verse out loud?
Say, would you acquaint Allah with your religion, while Allah knows whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth, and Allah is knowing of all things.
Okay, perfect. Jazakallah khair. So now this is referring to a context where a group of people from the outskirts of Medina came into the Medinan city, and they try to go to the Prophet ﷺ, and they declared themselves that, yeah, we're Muslims, because they wanted to get some benefits, right? They wanted to get some benefits like zakah, the charity system. And the Prophet ﷺ, because of his connection with Allah, he saw through that, and he knew that they were lying, right? He knew that they were lying. So they were basically trying to claim something about the deen which they didn't actually know about. And this verse came into being. Now, clearly it's referring to arrogance, right? It's referring to arrogance. Who do you think you are that you're going to go and try and change the message of God or explain to God about how the way the world works, right? Who are you to do that? Who is the most arrogant person mentioned in the Quran? Does anybody know? Who is the most arrogant person mentioned in the Quran? Oh, shh, huh? Huh? Who? Okay, shh. Put your hands up, sisters. Who is the most arrogant person mentioned in the Quran? Huh? Did you put your hand up? No candy. Right, okay. Right. The most arrogant person mentioned in the Quran is Fir'aun, right? But who is the most arrogant mentioned in the Quran? Yes? Shaitan, Iblis, mashallah. Very good, right? Person is Fir'aun, Iblis is the biggest arrogant person, right? Now, Iblis, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He commanded Adam to prostrate, right? Who didn't prostrate? Huh? Sorry? So yeah, he commanded angels and the jinn to prostrate to Adam, right? Who did not prostrate? Iblis did not prostrate. Why? Because he said, I am better than him. I am made out of fire. He's made out of clay. So because of that very reason, he was declared as the biggest enemy of Allah, right? And then you have that contract where Adam was sent down to this life. We're the children of Adam, right? And it's Shaitan's journey, its mission in this life to take as many of us to Jahannam. Inshallah, may Allah save us all. Ameen, right? So that's where all that comes from. Arrogance, huge arrogance. If you look at the Tafsir of Surah Taha, inshallah, I'm planning to do that for next year in the first semester. If you look at the Tafsir of Surah Taha, Fir'aun is so full of himself when he's trying to buff himself up in front of Musa, right? He's got all his soldiers, his people there, and there's this rivalry between him and Musa alayhi salam. And you can see how he tries to say, yes, but I'm the God here, I can do whatever I want, And then whenever Musa alayhi salam tries to interfere with logic, it's like, can you create man? Can you put the sun down, etc., so on and so forth? He doesn't have an answer. He cuts the information off and then tries to go another angle. Very, very arrogant. Biggest disease in the heart, arrogance. There's a hadith which says, even if you have an atom's weight of arrogance in your heart, you will not enter paradise. Big thing. Please control your arrogance, right? There's also a hadith, right? And this is a very scary hadith. And this is referred to you. So there's a man, right? So this guy, the question you asked me about dragging your garments. So this was a man, he was very proud of himself. He loved to look good and everything, right? He liked to show off for people and stuff like that, okay? And he said, and what he was like wearing this huge garment where the cloak was rolling off the floor. And as a result, the earth opened up and swallowed him. And he's going to keep falling until the day of judgment because of his pride. Surah Luqman alayhi salam, or if you disagree that he's not a prophet, Luqman advises his son about many different things. Surah 31. And in that, one of the things he mentions to his son, do not walk proud on this earth. Do not walk proud on this earth. right? The key thing on trying to make yourself a better person is by putting your head on the ground, right? Putting your arrogance on the ground and raising your status with Allah. Submission. Islam is all about submission to Allah. Not to yourself, not to your nafs, but to Allah. Yeah? Next verse. Okay, Shores, can you read that aloud, bro?
They consider it a favor to you that they have accepted Islam.
Right.
Say, do not consider your Islam a favor to me. Rather, Allah has conferred favor upon you that He has guided you to the faith, if you should be truthful.
Okay, mumtaz. Jazakallah khair. Okay, so what is a clear concept you get from that verse? Raza, what can you immediately determine from that verse?
I'm a Muslim.
Okay.
It's a favor upon me.
Yes.
Not that I have favor upon society or anyone.
Exactly. Very well done. Okay. Now, you need to understand that when you embrace Islam, okay, it's not for anyone else, right? The fact that you were given Islam and the fact that it entered your heart, alhamdulillah, this is a favor of Allah upon you. This is a favor of Allah upon you, right? As we all know, there is a hadith. The first 3 people to enter Jahannam. Does anybody know who they are? The first 3 people to enter the hellfire. Who are they? Right. Shh. Okay, yeah. Scholar, 1. Right. Who else? Does anybody know the second and third? Huh? No, you can't swap. Husni?
Leaders?
Huh? Not leaders, no.
Judges?
No, not judges.
There was this one person who's a shaheed.
Yeah, a mujahid, yes. A mujahid is Shramana. Huh? Not an oppressor. Huh?
One who donates.
Yes, okay, well done. Now look, the first 3 people that will enter into the hellfire, they're not disbelievers, they're not the hypocrites, they are the scholar, the one who has the most knowledge about Islam, right? They are the mujahid. The mujahid are the people who have died physically in battles for the sake of Islam, right? The mujahid. And number 3, the guy who gives money, the philanthropist. Now when I read this hadith, I was so shocked. Why on earth are these people going to the hellfire? And in that book, Riyah, it mentions all about this, the 4th book, right? The reason why, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask them, why did you become a scholar? Right? He said, I did it for your sake. He's like, no, you did it to gain the recognition of other people, so you're going to hellfire. The same thing for the mujahid, the one who died in the name of Allah, and also for the 3rd person who gave a lot of money, right? Big thing. Just because you're a Muslim, right, does not mean you owe people anything, right? Does not mean that at all. Everything you do is for your own sake. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gifted with you Islam, keep it for yourself. Do not use it as a mean to, like, I'm a Muslim guy, right? Treat me with respect, so on and so forth. It doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen like that. Your Islam is a favor upon you, not to other people. Does that make sense? Yes? Alright. Now, this is actually a beautiful part. The Prophet ﷺ, imagine, okay? This is the man we're supposed to love, we're supposed to adore. He is the best of humanity, as a mercy to mankind, right? Now, he was the leader, not of only this ummah, but the leader of everyone on the Day of Judgment. He will be the leader of everyone, okay? There was an incident where Umar ibn Khattab, who was the 2nd Khalifa, right? He came to the Prophet's house, right? And he saw the Prophet lying on a mat. And Umar ibn Khattab started crying. And he went to the Prophet, the king of Rome and the king of, whatsoever, they're living on these big cushions and etc., so on and so forth. Why are you the leader of all Muslims, the leader of all men? Why are you on this small mat, right? He said something along the lines that my eternal reward will be in the hereafter, right? This was the leader of everyone. He didn't have any special treatment for himself. He slept on a mat. He made sure everyone else was fed before he was. How are our leaders today? They always want to fill their bellies, right? Complete opposite to what we want to do, right? Make sure that you understand that Islam is a favor upon you, right? Islam is a favor upon you. And just because you're Muslim does not mean you get any special treatment. Just because you're an island does not mean you get any special treatment. So on and so forth. Does that make sense, everyone? Yes, excellent. Okay, we can move on. Last one, this is the last hadith. Alright. Reza, did you speak before?
Yep.
Husni.
Indeed, Allah knows the unseen aspects of the heavens and the earth, and Allah is seeing what we do.
Excellent. Jazakallah khair. Okay, right. Now, does anybody remember, right? I told you guys the difference between fa'al and amal. Who remembers the difference? What's the thing? Yes?
Is it amila when you do something with the correct niyyah?
Correct niyyah, yes. MashaAllah, well done. Okay, right. Here you go, right. Amal means to do the correct action with the correct intention. Correct action with the correct intention. Fa'al might be you do the action, but it may not have the correct intention. Does that make sense, everyone? Right? Now look here. You see that last word? You see that last word there? Yes? Which one, where is it derived from? Fa'al or amal? Amal, okay? Now we know that amal has the correct action and the correct intention. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here said He used the word ghaib. Allah knows the unseen. Ghaib means unseen. So He's not only referring to your actions, He's also referring to your intentions. He knows absolutely everything. Now to illustrate this, I'm just going to quote to you one simple hadith, right? Very, very simple hadith. I think most people have heard of this. 3 men, they were in a cave, okay? They went there for shelter. Suddenly, rocks fell down and they were caved in, right? They couldn't get out. So they tried to push the stones out, it didn't budge. It was a huge stone, they didn't budge. Now, they're stuck in this cave, no way out. Then the first man, okay, he made dua to Allah. Okay? He said, Ya Allah, okay, before I would feed my own family, I'd give the milk to my parents first. Right? And once, when he went to give them milk, they were asleep. So he stayed there until they woke up and then gave them the milk and then finally went back to his family. He said, Ya Allah, if I did this for your sake, please move the rock. And suddenly the boulder moved a bit. Didn't move entirely, but moved a bit. Right? Then the second person, he made a dua to Allah. He said, this man, he wanted to actually have sex with one of his cousins. She was very attractive, okay? But the cousin would always resist. She would always resist. Now, what happened was, there was a famine that time, and she needed money. So she accepted his offer, right? Now this man, he locked the entire house, the windows, the doors, and everything, right? He took off his clothes, he was ready to do it. And then she asked him, do you fear Allah? Or along the lines like, do you know that Allah is watching you? And at that moment, he stopped. Put on his clothes, he gave her the money and said, go. Take the money as charity, go ahead. Right? And then he said, if I did this for your sake, Allah, please move the boulder. And the boulder buzzed up a bit. It buzzed up a bit more, right? Finally, there's a man, okay? This third man, he made a dua. This man, he had a lot of employees, okay? And he'd always pay them after they finished their work. One of the employees left, right? He did his work, but he left. He never came back. So the man thought, khalas, I'll just use his wage and invest it in my own business. So a couple of years passed and his investment grew. He had a lot of farmland, he had a lot of camels, so on and so forth. The man came back and asked him, I need my wage. Now, because he invested his wage in all these animals, he said, take all these animals because they're for you, right? Because I used them from your wage. And then he said, Ya Allah, if I did this for your sake, please move the boulder. And eventually the entire boulder was moved. Now, in all three incidents, it was all about protecting and respecting the rights of your fellow brother, your sister, your parents, so on and so forth. It was all about respecting the other person's rights. This entire surah, Surah Hujuraat, the past 5 sessions which we've gone through, it's all about understanding how to protect and preserve people's rights. You backbite, you're destroying someone else's right. You do namima, which is tale caring about people, you're destroying people's rights. Which is why it's very important. Imagine that you're there, you're going on the Day of Judgment. You have to cross this bridge and hellfire is under you. Now, you cross that bridge, you've made it. You see the gates of heaven in front of you. You see the gates of heaven, you've passed it. You've gone through the difficult part, right? Now, if you've reached that stage, then that means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He forgave you for all your sins that you've done, between you and Him. But if you have harmed any of the creation of Allah, be it a Muslim, a creature, whatever the case may be, you have to now turn back and take account for all the times you've backbited a person, all the times you've lied against a person, damaged their honor in whatever way or form. And what will happen is that they will take your good deeds, and if all your deeds are taken off, their bad deeds will be dumped onto you. And if that happens, you have to be chucked into hellfire to clear your debt. To clear your debt. Right? Yes, Shahada?
Can I just make a point of that?
Yes, yes.
The justice of Allah is that He will tell the person who's done this to.
Sorry?
The justice of Allah is that He will tell the person that this is what that person
Yeah.
has done to you.
Yeah. So there will be someone like a witness to inform that this person did this to you, this person. Yeah. So they will have the option of forgiving you in that case, right? But when you're on the Day of Judgment, you don't want to take that. So if you have done wrong to any people, forgive them. Forgive them, right? If you've done wrong to any people, go and ask for their forgiveness. If it's either backbiting. I remember, I'm not going to mention which brothers, right? Two brothers, when I was bald, right? They used to make fun of me. They used to call me, what was the guy from Daredevil called? Bullseye, that's it, Bullseye, right? Bullseye. So these two brothers, right, okay, they were making fun of me. So they come to my house, like, Shoaib, bro, we're so sorry, we're making fun of you, we're calling Bullseye. And you know what I told him? I'll see you on Judgment Day, bro. No, alhamdulillah, I forgave the brother, alhamdulillah. Yeah, no, I won't mention his name because I'll destroy his dignity otherwise. Alhamdulillah. But you see how important it is to maintain, I'm not mentioning you, by the way, indirectly, okay, just to make sure of that, okay? Right, okay. Again, preserve people's rights. All of you are walking individuals with rights, right? You're walking rights. Imagine that, you're walking rights. Do not let that be destroyed, nor do you destroy other people's rights, okay? Finally, I'm just going to share one personal reflection with you. Wallahu alam. Okay, this is just a personal reflection, right? Now, from this entire surah, there are about 18 verses in the surah. We've gone through backbiting, how to submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how to, become better Muslims by, striving for the sake of Allah through the mind. As we learn about Islam, Iman, Ihsan, so on and so forth. So many things, right? But the one that particularly stood out for me was this verse in Surah Hujuraat, verse number 4. Indeed, those who call you, O Muhammad, from behind the chambers, most of them do not use reason, right? Most of them do not use reason. Now, I'm taking this as a very abstract verse, okay? I'm just trying to derive a lesson from this. Now, imagine a society that's gone so insane that people are shouting from behind your house, Muhammad, get out, or Shiraz, get out, or Reza, get out. How topsy-turvy would that society be, right? Now, the reason Allah Subhanahu mentioned this is because they didn't have reason. They didn't have aql. Now, aql comes from the word iqal. Iqal was reins. You know when you're on a horse, and if the horse is going too fast, you pull on the reins to try and stop the horse. Yes? You pull on the reins to try and stop the horse. To try and control. Your aql, your brain, your faculty of mind is supposed to protect and restrict you from what you're not supposed to do. It's supposed to be a form of restriction. But these people have gone completely crazy. No restrictions whatsoever, right? Now, here's the interesting part. They said they call you from behind the chambers. From behind the chambers. Now, what's very interesting here is the word Hujuraat. Hujuraat is the name of the surah itself. And there's only one time that's been used in the Quran, and that is in this verse. Only one time has it been used. Right? Now, Hujuraat, it means chambers, right? Chambers of the houses or the apartments of the wives of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay? What's interesting, he didn't use bayt. He didn't use the word house, which is another synonym for house or chamber, whatever you want to call it. He used the word Hujuraat. Now, Hujuraat has a lot of connotations attached to it. It means something that is restricted, that is well guarded, right? Something that is well guarded. Or something, for example, if I don't like Shah, okay, I'm saying he's Hijr. Like I want to stay away from him. It's a form of protection as well. So there was something about the houses of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ's wives that was protecting them from the evils of that society. Can anybody guess what those two things are? Two things. There were two things that were protecting them. No matter what happens in society, these two things were protecting them. Anyone have an idea? No one? Huh? No. Never mind. Okay, I'll explain. Right. So, yes, Samna? Huh? Angels, sort of. The thing, who lived in the house? The Prophet and his wives. The Prophet and his wives. The key pillars of trying to protect yourself from the evil society is a righteous man and a righteous woman. These are the two things you need, right? And this is actually the strongest bond that the shaitan can break. There's a hadith where Iblis, the king of shaitan, he's sitting on his chair. One of his minions comes up to him and he said, I made a man kill another person. He says like, yeah, whatever, you did your job, okay? Another minion comes and says, yeah, I did this. He's like, yeah, whatever, you did your job. A third minion comes up to Iblis and he said, I made a man and his wife separate. He said, come sit on my chair, and he starts clapping for him. Right? Brothers, raise your hands up if you want to have a good married wife. Raise your hands up. Shura's like, I'm still deciding. All right. Sisters, raise your hands up if you want a good husband. Sisters like, Right. The key, okay, look, I'm just going to tell you what a brother told me. This, mashallah, brother Khail, he's the one who gave me this advice, right? All of us, inshallah, we all want to go to Jannah. We all want to go to heaven. Yes? Yes, alhamdulillah, okay? Your partner is supposed to be a pedestal for you to go to that place. It's supposed to be a pedestal, right? But before you start considering your partner, remember this very beautiful advice which our brother gave me, right? I'm just talking this from the male perspective, right? To get the wife you want, you must first be the man she wants you to be, right? Marriage is all about self-introspection, learning how to improve yourself, right? Likewise for the sisters, right? The keys of success, if the man and wife are perfect for each other and they work together for the sake of Islam, you have formed leaders. You have formed a fantastic team. Because now that team will produce children who are like-minded, propagate that into the society, and then try and purge out that evil in the society. Very, very important pillar of Islam. Extremely important.